Hi, my name's Holly Verson. I'm the game developer for Fleet Commander Nimitz, and I'm going to show you how to set up a campaign. So the first thing we're going to need to do is choose which campaign you want to play. There are campaigns from 1942 all the way up to 1945. I suggest you start with the 1942 campaign. On the campaign sheet, you will find the Japanese forces. These are all the forces in the 1942 campaign: ships, infantry, land-based aircraft, and of course also for the Americans. Also on the campaign sheet, it tells you how many supply points you receive each turn, as well as how many reinforcement points to bring in new forces that you get each turn. You also have a number of objectives that you must capture before the end of the campaign in order to win the campaign. At the end of the campaign, you're going to count up how many objectives, each of these, that you have in fact captured. And the number here shows how well you did during the campaign. For example, if you capture all 8 of these objectives, you will receive a great evaluation for the campaign. However, if you only capture 5 or 6, you'll have a historical result. So now we're going to use the setup sheet to place the starting forces on the campaign map. Now keep in mind, these are all prototype components. When the game is produced, of course, the map will be this beautiful, full-color, mounted map. The battle sheet will be a beautiful mounted battle sheet. All of the counters will be nice and thick. This is just a prototype. So the first thing we're going to do is place the U.S. naval ships. We can see here on the setup sheet that in Australia we're going to need to find the cruiser ABDA and subgroup 3. And I'm going to place both of these right here in Australia. Now we're going to place the forces for the Hawaiian Islands. We're going to start with the CV Lexington and Enterprise and work our way down the list. Once I've found all the forces for the Hawaiian Islands, I'm going to place them right here on the map in the Hawaiian Islands area. The U.S. forces begin in the Hawaiian Islands in 2 groups. One group that's ready to sail, and the second group that's not ready to sail until the second turn. These forces will be available to me in the second game turn. The West Coast has the destroyer Desron II. And finally, I have my reinforcements that I can purchase during the game. So next we have the infantry. I'm going to place the 25th Infantry in the Hawaiian Islands. And all the rest are reinforcements. So I'll put these in the infantry box of my reinforcements. Finally, with our infantry, we have battalion forces. For the 1942 campaign, the battalions are placed in New Caledonia, the Solomon Islands, Borneo, and 2 battalions are placed on the West Coast. Next, we're going to place our land-based aircraft. Right here in Alaska, we're going to put the 28th Bomber Group and the 343rd Fighter Group. In Australia, we have the 19th Bomber Group. On Midway Island, we have the Marine Air Group 22. I'll also place the aircraft for New Guinea, the Hawaiian Islands, Samoa, and finally all of my reinforcement aircraft. As you can see, I've placed all of the Japanese forces as well. The objective counters are 2-sided. The blue side is when the U.S. holds an area, and the red side is when Japan holds an area. So now I'm going to place the objectives, one in Alaska, the Hawaiian Islands, Midway Island, Gilbert Island, and you'll see that a Japanese force is on Gilbert. So it's actually currently held by Japan, Samoa, Solomon Islands, New Guinea, and since there are both U.S. forces and Japanese forces ashore, it is currently held by Japan, and finally New Caledonia. Thanks for watching. In our next video, we're going to cover the information on the counters.